A young boy is in the woods drawing pictures when he suddenly hears a gunshot. He watches as a deer in front of him falls to the ground with his father approaching it. His father asks him to come closer and hands him a knife, telling him to finish the deer. But the boy looks into the innocent eyes of the deer and runs away. Many years later, a man named Reed proposes to his girlfriend, Olivia, and she accepts. After that, the couple has an engagement party at Reed's father, Dwayne's house. Seeing the head of a dead deer mounted on the wall, it is revealed that the young boy was Reed. Later, Reed packs their belongings and gets ready to leave. His father, Dwayne, tells him to pack more safety items, as he doesn't know what might happen on the road. He gives Reed some supplies that might be useful if they run into trouble. Dwayne also hands him a lighter, saying he never wants to see Reed in trouble again. After that, Reed and Olivia leave. On the road, Olivia notices a shortcut on the map and convinces Reed to take it. Reed hesitates but agrees to make her happy. He talks about the supplies his father put in the back seat in case something happens. As they are talking, a pickup truck almost crashes into them, and their car spins off the road at an intersection. After calming their nerves, the couple becomes confused about which direction they came from and which way they should go. They try to check their phones for GPS, but there is no service. Then they see a sign for a gas station and decide to head that way. But as they drive off, the back of the sign appears scratched and torn, hinting at the dangers ahead. After driving for a while, they reach a gas station and a store named the I Forgot store. Olivia's instincts tell her not to go inside, but Reed insists, saying she needs to use the bathroom. Next, they head into the store. Although the place is full of items, there are no people inside. Then they look around to see if anyone is there and find a man sleeping in a chair behind the counter. Olivia asks Reed to check if the man is breathing because he looks lifeless. But as Reed gets closer to check, an elderly woman named Wendy suddenly appears and stops them. She says her husband, the man, is just taking a nap and they shouldn't wander around inside. Reed tells Wendy that they are lost, but she isn't surprised, saying many people get lost in this town. Wendy talks to the man behind the counter occasionally, but he doesn't respond and just sits still. Olivia heads to the bathroom while Reed asks Wendy for a map. She tells him she has only one map and it's not for sale. However, she gives him a pen and paper so he can draw the map to figure out which direction will take them to the highway. Olivia returns from the bathroom and suggests writing the directions instead of drawing because it's simpler. "Oh wait, I know something simpler. Why don't you take a picture of the map with your phone?"
I like this better.
Wendy then mentions a shortcut with a beautiful view of the road and gives Reed directions.
They might want to take the back road by the creek.
The couple buys some snacks from her and leaves the store as Wendy laughs maniacally. The couple continues their journey and reaches the shortcut, but they notice a dead animal on the side of the road. Ignoring it, they drive on. Along the way, Reed tells Olivia that he wants to have a daughter because he didn't have a good relationship with his father. He shares how Dwayne used to drag him into the woods, forcing him to learn outdoor skills. One day, Dwayne asked him to skin a deer. Despite Reed begging him to stop, Dwayne insisted, wanting him to become an outdoorsman like himself. Reed ended up vomiting all over the deer and himself. Dwayne told him to fetch the bag with spare clothes, but Reed had forgotten to bring it. After that day, Dwayne stopped taking him to the woods.
Watch out!
Suddenly, Reed slams on the brakes to avoid hitting a car bumper lying in the middle of the road. He gets out to move it, noticing spiders and worms crawling on the bumper. After returning to the car, Reed sees blood dripping onto the car and pooling underneath it. Shocked, he freezes as a demonic creature leans toward his ear and calls his name. But it turns out to be Olivia calling him, and everything was just in his head. Next, they come across an elderly man with torn clothes who looks injured. Reed pulls over and asks if he is okay, but the man grabs a stick and shouts at them to go back. The couple assumes the man is trying to attack them, so Reed drives away. As they leave, the man grows furious, yelling after them for not listening and driving further down the road. After driving for a while, Reed starts hearing demonic sounds from the radio, but Olivia doesn't hear anything. Reed suggests they should turn around, but Olivia insists they are close to the highway. A few minutes later, Olivia says she needs to use the bathroom, so Reed stops for her. In the woods, she sees a shadowy figure moving toward her and runs back to the car. She quickly starts driving, saying she saw something in the woods. As she drives, strange things begin happening in Reed's mind. He dreams of a demon-possessed Olivia trying to attack him, but it's all in his imagination. When Reed wakes up from the dream, Olivia denies everything that happened, including the hitchhiker and her strange encounter in the woods. Reed shows her the gas tank, which is nearly empty, and points out they have been driving for a very long time. Surprisingly, the couple comes across the same bumper they had seen earlier and are shocked. Reed tries to calm Olivia by grabbing a snack, but she encounters a woman covered in blood who suddenly levitates and disappears. Even after driving away, they still end up back at the same bumper. As they step out of the car, it suddenly turns dark. Reed finds the rest of the car that the bumper is from completely destroyed. Blood starts dripping onto the wrecked car. When they point their flashlight upward, they see a child hanging upside down, covered in blood. Terrified, the couple tries to retreat, but a hooded figure attacks them. They quickly jump back into their car and hit the figure, but it isn't hurt and attacks them again. Reed drives the car into the figure, knocking it to the ground, but the impact causes their bumper to fall off. The couple decides to drive in reverse to escape, but the car runs out of fuel. The car stops just as they reach the junction sign. Olivia reminds Reed they can go back to the old couple's store, but Reed doesn't remember them. Instead, he says she is describing characters from his comic book and shows her drawings of an old couple that resemble them. Suddenly, both of them fall into a daydream. When they snap out of it, they realize the gas and food in the back of their car are gone. As they panic, the hooded figure reappears and pulls out a knife. Just then, another car arrives, and they take the chance to run into the woods. The couple hides under a tree as the killer searches for them but eventually leaves. They return to the road but both forget why or who they are running from. Now confused, they start arguing. Olivia storms off, leaving Reed behind. Suddenly, the killer appears, knocks Reed out, and Olivia screams. When Reed regains consciousness, he finds both of them tied up next to each other. The killer has ripped their car apart and is eating the body they saw hanging in the trees. Olivia panics, fearing they will be next, but Reed tries to calm her down. In desperation, Olivia confesses that she cheated on him a long time ago. Shocked, Reed asks if the child she is carrying is his. Olivia hesitates and admits she doesn't know or remember. The hooded figure interrupts, telling Reed to shut up and claiming Olivia doesn't love him. Next, Olivia begs for forgiveness. The killer stands and moves to attack her. Suddenly, the hitchhiker from earlier appears and saves her. He unties the couple and urges them to leave quickly, warning that they'll be in danger if the killer gets back up. The three walk until morning, and the hitchhiker explains that he doesn't remember who he was, saying the road makes people forget. Next, he reveals that a fire broke out in the woods a long time ago and shows them their car, now trashed and covered in dust. He tells them they've been stuck here for a long time and that he hasn't found any way out. Spotting the junction sign, the hitchhiker is surprised, saying he's never seen it before. He suggests the couple might escape because they've done something different. He also reveals that others are trapped on the road just like them and warns that if they keep going in the loop, their car will continue to age until it's gone. Suddenly, the hitchhiker forgets everything again, becomes paranoid, and accuses them of being the killers. He threatens to kill them first and starts chasing them. The couple runs deeper into the woods. Olivia apologizes again, saying she wants no more secrets between them. Reed tells her they should focus on finding a way out. He mentions that if the hitchhiker is right, they might find an earlier version of their car that still has gas in it. Soon after, they hear something moving in the woods. To their shock, they see an earlier version of themselves, Olivia heading into the woods to take a leak. Reed sneaks up to their car and takes the gas before his earlier self notices him. Meanwhile, Olivia is startled to see her past self and accidentally makes noise, frightening the earlier Olivia, who runs back to the car. Next, Reed and Olivia find their car and refill it with gas. The couple tries to escape the looped road, but soon encounters the killer again. To their shock, they realize the car that saved them from the killer earlier was actually themselves. They watch as their earlier versions run out of the car and into the woods. Then, they reverse the car and find the junction sign, believing they've finally broken the loop. Reed tells Olivia he forgives her, but as Olivia turns to patch up Reed's wounds, she notices a shelter shed and a knife in the back seat. Both items are eerily similar to what the killer was wearing and wielding. Next, Olivia grabs the knife and points it at Reed, accusing him of being the killer. She tells him he must have known about her cheating and dragged her out here to kill her. Forcing him out of the car at knife point, Olivia watches as the killer suddenly appears and chases Reed. Reed hides behind a tree, but the killer leaves him after searching for a while. Then Olivia sees another version of herself in the car, begging her for help. Shocked and confused, Olivia steps out of the car, only to be stabbed in the abdomen by the killer. As she falls to the ground, she is horrified to realize the killer is herself. Next, Reed arrives and is enraged to see Olivia injured. He attacks the killer, stabbing her in the face and killing her. But when he looks closer, he realizes the killer is another version of Olivia. Distraught, he rushes to help his Olivia, but another figure appears behind him and attacks. This time it's Reed's older self wearing the hood. The killer stabs Reed in the abdomen, causing him to collapse. He then turns to Olivia and cruelly steps on her abdomen, causing her to lose the baby. The killer drags Olivia toward the car, taking a rope to tie her legs and hanging her from a tree. Before the killer can finish, Reed gathers his strength and slits his throat, killing him. Reed then sets his body on fire using the lighter. Weak but determined, Reed staggers back to Olivia. The killer collapses into the flames as the fire spreads, while the couple manages to drive away. As they speed off, the sky shifts rapidly between day and night, and thunder roars above, signaling the loop is breaking. Finally, the couple escapes the cursed shortcut road and returns to the main road. But Reed is heartbroken to see Olivia has died. Soon their phones light up with missed calls and messages. Among them, Dwayne calls Rita, and overwhelmed with grief, hears his father's voice telling him to move on, no matter the problem. Reed hangs up the phone, changes his clothes, and says a tearful goodbye to Olivia's body. Next, Reed turns back and walks into the shortcut road alone. Along the way, he picks up a stick similar to the hitchhiker's. The final reveal shows that Reed becomes the hitchhiker, aging in the woods as he is trapped in the endless loop. Just as Reed disappears into the shortcut road, Olivia regains consciousness. She then follows him into the woods. Meanwhile, Reed stumbles upon a little girl dressed in clothing similar to Olivia's. The girl approaches him and hands him a picture of him and Olivia together. Reed stares at the picture in shock, and as they both look into each other's eyes, it's revealed they share the same eye color. This makes Reed realize she might be his daughter. Overwhelmed with emotion, Reed pulls the girl into a tight hug, feeling as though he has finally found someone he has known and loved for a long time. The end. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.